Yeah, it's very nice to have you all here. If you could just introduce yourself in the chat room, that would be lovely. See, maybe you can also say how you found out about me as well, just out of interest. I'd be quite interested to see. The reason why I did this session is because last week I did a Tekla session, which was 90 minutes long and lasted and went down very, very well. So I thought I'd quite like to open it up to people who weren't necessarily Natekla members. In January, I am running a course on engaging learners with simple drawings. So this is a very, very, very condensed whistle-stop version. I think a lot of people are quite intrigued as to what graphic facilitation is. I find graphic facilitation has really rejuvenated my teaching. So I've been teaching English for about 20 years now. And I guess there was a little bit of a slump a while ago. And once I did a graphic facilitation course, I kind of picked up and kind of, I don't know, it was kind of a rejuvenated mojo moment, I suppose. And I just feel it's been so helpful for me and my learners. And it's made everything really engaging and understandable. But I'll talk a bit more about that later. So this is who I am. I am Emily Bryson. I am the author of Voices, which is the new National Geographic Learning coursebook series. So I wrote 2 students' books and a workbook for them. I've written the 50 Ways to Teach Life Skills and the A to Z of ESOL. I am an ESOL lecturer at City of Glasgow College, and at the moment my focus is on ESOL literacy and low-level learners, so beginners. We do a lot of phonics in the class. I'm an inclusive practitioner, so my aim is to be as accessible as possible. And I'm a teacher trainer, so I deliver quite a lot of webinars and teacher training sessions. And I'm also a graphic facilitator, which is why I'm sure you guys are all here. I am, when I'm not teaching, I enjoy running and cycling and running, hill walking and anything outdoors really, and hugging trees. So I'm a member of the Scottish Redwood Trust. And while I'm out on my bike and run adventures, I catalogue tall trees around Scotland, which is a little bit different. So some of the advantages of drawing is that it aids memory. So there have been studies to show and research to show that if given a list of vocabulary and asked to recall the vocabulary and make a list of it later, people who were given a list of drawings and were asked to remember how to do the drawings as well actually remembered more than those who just were just asked to write the words. It's lots of fun. I have had lots of laughs and giggles in the classroom, often from my drawing fails as much as my drawing successes. When it comes to drawing success, it doesn't need to be, so graphic facilitation is communication, it's not art. As you'll see here, these drawings are really basic. I'm basically copying icons. They're made up of lines and circles and squares. The whole point is to communicate. It's not to show off your artistic prowess or make anybody feel intimidated. So actually, just having the confidence to draw is all you need. It's supportive. So I find that my students, when I've got a whiteboard full of drawings, are much more supported, or I can use it for if students, sometimes when I give them homework, they don't understand the rubrics, but I can add a little drawing of an icon and then they'll be able to understand. It's stimulating, it uses the brain, it really gets you thinking. I find that it's really great for critical thinking skills and for checking that students have understood. It's also great for students to give feedback in class. So does everybody know how to use annotation tools? Because this session is going to have lots of annotation. So what you need to do if you are on a laptop is go to the green bit of Zoom at the top where it says you are viewing Emily Bryson's screen, and then go to view options and go down to, just get the spotlight here, go down to annotate. And then when you're in annotate, you can use this for text to write, you can use this to draw, you can change the color with format, you can erase it, Spotlight is this little red light that I've got. Stamp is quite nice. You've got like a tick across a little star. So if you could just do that now and just make some marks on the screen so that I know that you understand how to use Annotate. If you're on a mobile phone, just wake up your phone by pressing your phone for a second and then click on this little icon of a pen. And then you don't get the same amount of options as you do on a laptop or a desktop. I love this. I love the little, yeah, feel free to draw anything that you want. I encourage drawing. And in this session, I encourage sketchnoting as well. So if you want to take notes on your notebook with sketch notes, go for it. Okay, great. Any questions? Sorry?
I don't have the, mine just says original size and request remote control. I don't have Annotate. Is it because I'm not on, maybe I didn't click to go on the app?
Are you on a laptop or a mobile phone?
Yeah, I'm on a laptop, but the option when I joined was join or open the app, and I just clicked join. So I wonder if I think I've just joined online, so I don't have the Annotate.
Can you see the green bar at the top?
Yeah, got that. And view options is just fit to window, original size, or request remote control.
Oh, that's a shame.
Yeah, I've got exactly the same problem.
Oh, I've never had that before. I wonder why that is.
The option was to join via the web. I'm via the web. I haven't joined via the app.
I think that's what it is. If you're maybe in a tab, I think once my student did have that problem. If you're in a tab rather than,
I'll even come back in the other way then.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, I'll try that as well.
Okay. Sorry about that. Or you could just watch, and depends how interactive you want it to be. It's up to you.
Okay, I'm happy to watch.
Okay. Oh, Emma, I like your drawing of the in the top corner. Great. Okay, so onwards. So let's get started. Oops, let's get started. Okay, so I'd like you to make a mark. This is 2 whiteboards. This the one on the left is me now, and the one on the right is me in the past, and how I used to teach certain words, new vocabulary, sounds like ooh and cha. So you'll notice on the left that this foot looks like a foot, resembles a foot, is a little bit odd looking. This is feel the fear and draw anyway. It doesn't matter, it's communication, it's not art. Same with this spoon, it's a bit of a funny shaped spoon, that's okay. I encourage that. Keep it simple. You want it to be something that your students can copy quite easily, but also something that they can understand. And they all knew what a spoon was. If you can always go to Google Images and update it. It's just a kind of it's a visual cue for them. Okay, but I'd like you to annotate which of these pictures is the most supportive for your students. Which of these whiteboards is the most supportive? Nice arrow, Tiff. Good. Great. That was what I was expecting. Okay, next question. Which of these is the most engaging? Great. Also what I was expecting. Okay, which of these is the most understandable? Great. And which of these would you want your teacher to have if you were learning a language with another script, like Arabic or Chinese or Tigrinya or any language that doesn't have a script that's familiar to you? Yeah, exactly. So having the confidence and the skills to use really simple drawings in class can really make lessons more supportive, more engaging, more fun, more understandable. To me, I kind of see it as a superpower now. But so I teach ESOL literacy at the moment, and some of my learners don't know how to read and write in their first language. So it's quite difficult for them to take notes in their first language and for them to be able to go home and study. This was a student in a similar situation. And actually, I didn't ask him to draw. In fact, this year I decided to do some in-action research by not asking students to draw at all. Usually I will encourage them to draw in class for the beginning of the year, but this year I decided I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to sit back and see what they do. And after about 4 weeks, 6 weeks, they just started copying my drawings into their notebooks. And so I kind of inspired them to draw rather than telling them or encouraging them to draw. So yeah, it really, really worked. And when this particular student drew this, I knew instantly that he understood what chairs were. He understood what an apple was. He understood what watches were. He wasn't just doing his homework with what is it? It is a guitar. And then, do I know if it's a guitar? I don't know. So having the drawings really, really, really helped me understand, concept check. Okay, I'd like you to use your annotation tools again. This is what we call in graphic facilitation a visual capture sheet. So I'll just write that on. So a visual capture sheet captures information about people, in class. So it could be for feedback or reflection. What do you think? So I'd like you to just make a mark on where you, in the middle of the pie, so in the middle of the cake slice, so not on the lines, but in the middle, from 0 being not at all to 10 being all the time. How often do you draw in class? How often do you draw before class? How often do you draw in talks and webinars? How often do you draw on social media? How often do you draw on feedback, relaxation, ideas, games, and activities? So just make a mark how often you do these things. Okay, so lots in the middle. So not so many people draw that often. Drawing for relaxation is very powerful, which if you have students who really need to relax, then I think it can be a very powerful way of doing that. Yeah. Good. Okay, now if you can pick up your text and write, what is it that stops you from drawing? What is it that keeps you in the middle here? Or if you want, you can write in the chat, but I prefer it's easier if you put it in the annotation. What is it that stops you from drawing?
Can you be more specific, Emily? Like stops us from drawing in all of these areas, or in our teaching practice? In
your teaching practice, or in any of those areas. Good question. So I know some of you might not necessarily be teachers, you might be trainers, or so I've got quite a lot of different hats. I'm a trainer, I'm a writer, and I've used it in all these different areas. I even use it for drawing birthday cards. So, yeah, time using online tools and drawing tools. I would say it can save you time. A lot of if you can either draw before class and then reuse the same activity again and again and again. And it can save you time in a face-to-face class by just going straight to using drawings. Not feeling confident, I would say feel the fear and draw anyway. Remember my foot that I drew. I would just go for it. Don't worry too much. People are often just amazed that you've tried in the first place and that it looks similar. Teach more literacy now, so I'm doing it more. Yeah, I think it's very good for literacy. Drawing on social media, time, but love drawing on the whiteboard. Good. Very hard to draw on a screen. Yeah, so I'm not sure if you can see this because I can't actually see myself at the moment. Oh yeah, okay, so this is my visualizer. It's basically a document camera. It didn't cost too much money. You can get them on Amazon for about £30. I can't believe I just said Amazon. You can get them anywhere else for £30. You can get them in various places. Oops, sorry, very hard to draw on screen. So you can use a visualizer to draw on screen. I'm going to demonstrate that in just a minute. Usually use mini boards. What's a mini board? Linking drawing to subject content. Yeah, yeah. Tend to use photo dictionaries. Yes, a few years ago, well, when Google Images came out, I kind of stopped drawing in class because I thought it was more effective to use Google Images. But the thing is, in a face-to-face class, you can't end up with an entire whiteboard full of pictures. It's Google Images, you're flashing an image up and then it's gone. So one benefit, to be one of the many benefits, is that. Oops. What else? Draw a lot in English. Don't do much in Teams.
This is a mini board.
It's a recap. Yep, good idea. Okay. Just going to move on here because I'm aware of time. If I can move on. Okay, so some ways that you can use drawings in class online or in an online class are a visualizer. You can also, you'll notice here, I've got my flip chart in the back. I've just put that up with panel pins. So sometimes you can aim your webcam at that. And if you want to draw before class, you can use this app called Cam Scanner, and then just use the magic color option in that to give you a nice bright color. So some things that we use quite a lot as graphic facilitators are visual templates. This is one of the visual templates that I use quite commonly. A roadmap, so you can use, basically you just draw the two hills like an M shape, and then these, there's a road going towards it, start big at the front and then draw in the way. So I use it quite a lot for students planning their careers, get them to think about where they are now, and then the steps that they take to get to the future. You could also do this like a set of stairs, just draw going up the way, stairs going sideways, steps. And you could draw it like a river. I've seen a bridge from one side to the other. I've seen stepping stones from one side to the other. You can use it for making plans. You can use it for steps for getting pretty much anywhere. You can use these in Jamboard or as a flip chart paper. As flip chart paper, they work really well. You can use Postit Notes and ask students to add their information. They're really good for speaking and listening. You can get good conversations out of them. If you're using a flip chart, these are also nice ways just to make your flip charts a little bit more interesting. Just draw a rectangle around it and then little pins, a circle and a line. Or you can add a little bit of tape, just a little rectangle in the top corner to jazz up your flip charts. You can use, another way to use visual capture sheets is maybe at the end of term if you're doing guidance. This is how I did guidance this year when I was online. I sent this picture via WhatsApp and then students sent it back having marked it up on WhatsApp, and then we had a chat about it. You can add in and make it your own. I'm kind of whizzing through here because I want to get to the drawing bit. And taking notes, if you get them to draw in their notebooks, just get them, if you get them started, if you give them something really simple to copy, then they will 9 times out of 10 be able to copy you. Sometimes they won't be keen, but that's okay. If they're not, if they're really not keen, I wouldn't push them to do anything. And you can use sketch notes as well, which is a great way to make sure students are listening. It really helps me to focus when I'm listening to a webinar as well. Okay, so Here are some common icons. I'd like to practice these. These are ones for the classroom. They're very simple. You'll notice that a lot of them are just made up of squares, circles, rectangles. That's what we call the drawing alphabet. So I'd like you, I'll just turn my document camera on. Do you all have a pen and paper ready? I hope so.
Yes.
Excellent. Okay, I'm going to stop sharing my screen so that you can see. Oh, sorry. Sorry. Stop share. Okay, that's it. Can you see the full? Can you see my hand?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, so if there's anything in particular that you want me to draw, please write it in the chat room. We've got about 5 minutes of drawing time. I'll start you off with a notebook, because I find that some students in class need a bit of help with their note taking. So I'll draw a notebook on the whiteboard, which is basically just a rectangle. And then you can draw some little C shapes to make it look spiral bound. And then you can use that and show them how to lay out, how you want them to lay out their notes in class. Okay, so while I'm drawing this, feel free to draw along, and then you can turn your cameras on and share your creations at the end. To draw students, a group of students, you can have just N shapes joined up together with a circle on top. If you want them to be facing the whiteboard, all you need to do is make them look like they're facing the whiteboard with little lines at the back. If you want to draw a whiteboard with a teacher at it, draw the majority of the whiteboard, but keep the bottom corner available or empty, open, I suppose. And then I find that if you draw a person's body with a circle or a square or a zigzag, I'll show you that in a second. It just makes it look, a little bit more. It just makes it look, you look a little bit smarter than stick people. If you've learned how to draw with just a little body like that, it's like one step up. It's still simple, but it tricks people into thinking. It's all perception. I quite like the light bulb, which is a U shape, and then a circle, or most of a circle, and then a zigzag or a Z, and then a kind of squiggle in the middle. And the best thing about the light bulb is it can mean so many things: creativity, idea, engagement, energy. Okay, anything that you want me to draw in particular? I've noticed nothing in the chat room yet, but if there is, just say. I've got a couple of minutes to request. A book is a rectangle with 1, 2, 3 lines. And a pen would be a rectangle with a triangle. And you can add a little clip in there too if you want, and maybe even one of the clicky bits at the top. Oh, an elephant. Okay. An elephant, actually you can draw an elephant just with an S shape. and then an eye. That's how I drew my elephant last week in class. And then you can add a little, a 3. Sometimes you'll find that drawings are letters as well. So S and 3 and then a dot. You can add on. Legs too. A lot of drawing is just giving the idea away, giving the perception of what it looks like. The instruction, repeat any ideas for that. Okay. That would be my repeat. Just a circle going round the way. Difference in written and spoken pronunciation. Some are more difficult. Racist, I would need to think about, I'm afraid. But maybe I am planning on, I don't know if you follow hashtag drawing ELT. So if you want more ideas for drawing, each week I will give you something super simple to copy on Twitter, hashtag drawing ELT. And coming up soon, there will be a hashtag drawing ELT challenge, which will be on equality, diversity and inclusion. But I'm afraid I'm going to have to stop the drawing fun there and return to the session. So these are, some very simple ways. If you're not sure how to draw something, just type in icon plus study skills. So if you wanted to learn about study skills, I need to switch back to me. I always forget to do that. So if you wanted to find out about how to draw study skills, you wanted some ideas, just type into Google study skills icon. If you wanted to find out how to draw racist, for example, racist icon, for example, and then copy the icons. It's much easier to copy an icon than it is to copy clip art. Likewise, the Noun Project has loads of amazing nouns that you can copy. Just look at them for inspiration. So if you want to do my online course in January, it's a 6-week course. Its aim is to power up your teaching in various different ways to make things more supportive, understandable, engaging for your learners. There's currently 12 drawing videos, but I have plans to increase that. And I'm always listening to my participants. So if there's anything that you would particularly want a drawing video on, then I would make them. Lots and lots of tutor support in the Facebook group as well. So there'll be option to, join the Facebook group, and then you can share your ideas with the other participants, which is where the real learning happens, really. It starts in January. There will be loads of classroom ideas and techniques. The testimonials from my previous participants are on my website, and it went down really, really, really well. They all loved it. So 4 90-minute classes. It was originally 4 weeks long, but the participants said it wasn't long enough. They were just having far too much fun. And it also needs a bit more time, I think, to digest. So we've added on a couple of extra weeks for basically for doing the coursework and for thinking of ideas and for more collaboration in the Facebook group. It will build your visual dictionary. So in graphic facilitation, we talk about the icons that we learn how to draw are visual vocabulary. So the more visual vocabulary you have, it's just like learning a language. The more visual vocabulary you have, the easier it is to communicate and the more ways you can communicate. So this course will help you build your visual dictionary. And there's also a resource bank. I have over the years been collating a Padlet of every drawing themed activity from ELT that I am aware of and putting it all into a Padlet. So I will share that with you. Okay, I'm afraid we don't have time for the feedback fairy, but I would have otherwise asked you how to, so the feedback fairy you might have seen online, instead of giving somebody a survey, what did you learn? What would you tell others? What would you wish for? What did you love? What would you throw in the bin? And what would you take away? So, I mean, I can still stay. So if you want to fill that in from this session, go for it. But I'd just like to finish with saying thank you. If you want more information about me, emilybrysonelt.com. My Twitter handle is #@ebryson. I'm on various different platforms if you want to find me. And there's a freebie at the moment lesson on my website. If you go to emilybrysonelt.com and go to freebies, there's a freebie lesson on the environment, teaming up with ELT footprint for that based on the COP26. So I can stay. I said it was half an hour, but if I'm happy to stay, if anybody has any questions, then please feel free to ask away.
Thank you so much, Emily. That's really good. You've packed so much into a short amount of time.
No, like, why did I think 30 minutes was going to be enough? Once you get your pens out, you don't want to, you always want to do more than longer.
Yeah. That's really nice. I love that. It's just made me think about, I suppose it is having the confidence to do it and know that actually it does help. I don't want to sort of hinder somebody by my drawings, but actually they're quite simple and they would help me if I was learning a language.
Yeah, just, keep it simple, keep it quick. A lot of it comes down to just simple circles, squares, shapes, lines.
Emily, can I show you something?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, so
if anybody wants to show me their drawings from earlier,
I need to sort of. I can't show you with the background.
Hang on, I'll stop screen sharing.
No, it's not that. It's just that background. My visual background is going to impede any visuals I put up to the camera.
Okay.
So I'll pop it on Twitter and you'll see. I'm trying to do the note capture, like you said. So I'll share it there and see if that. It's really. It's not much.
Great. If anybody's done any of the drawings that you did, feel free to share them on Twitter with #DrawingELT. That's great, Tiff. Love those. Well done. Brilliant.
I put one for realism. I put one of the students facing the wrong way because there's always one.
One of the students looking out the window. Great. Okay. Does anybody have any other questions or comments?
No,
we want to keep you because I did say past. So
yeah, no, which is really thank you again, because I'm now teaching beginners a lot more now, and I think having images will really help them. Normally I would ask them to teach me a word, and I know how difficult it is for me to learn a new word in their language, so it keeps me grounded. But I think to help them learn, the visuals will really help them a lot more. So yeah,
it gives them something to take away and memorize, and especially if they don't have script in their first language. But it's been invaluable for all the beginner classes.
I think for me as well, two things that have brought it more into what I do. One, I have been a beginner literacy learner in the country where I live, and it's done more for my literacy work probably than a lot of the other experience I've had put together, just in terms of understanding how that process works on a as a learner. But I think also working in a lot of classes now that I have with spiked profiles, and so it really aids like in instructions, and it helps those learners who might otherwise lag behind getting onto task. It just helps them get onto the task at the same speed as everybody else.
I think it's nice to lose those inhibitions as well when you think you can't draw. So in my first lesson, I always give everybody a mini whiteboard and draw the 3 things that you want us to know about you. And cool. People will rub out and rub out and rub out, but eventually they'll leave something on there. And once you've done that once, you can get them to draw again. So it's a way of expressing something they might not have the words for.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And then they can get the words describing it. So last week, I don't know if you saw my post about hirameki. So it's like little paint splodges. It's a Japanese art form, and then you give them little paint splodges and then get them to draw inside it. And the beginners were drawing random splodges, like they learned the word peacock, very above level language, but it was just quite fun. And they were quite really enjoying the above level language, eagle and peacock and tortoise. And so that was practicing what is this, what is that.
Yeah, great ideas.
You can do it with swirls, like just take a scribble, if you don't have any paint splodges, but you'll get the paint splodges from the blog. You can just save the images. Okay, I don't want to keep you because I did say half an hour.
All right, thank you
But
so
I
much.
also would love to keep chatting to you all. So,
Thank you.
yeah.
Thanks, Emily.
Thank
Okay,
you.
so
Thanks for
if you've got
doing
any
it.
questions, feel free to get in touch with me on social media.